What's going on, guys? It's Banisher of Evil Soul here, back at it again. Today I'm going to showcase off my Kaiju deck profile that I copied straight from my PS4, adjusted, and added a few cards to it. It's my full power Kaiju deck of nowadays. My previous one is showcased on my PS4, but I won't be showing that from my PS4. I prefer you guys to see a good 60 frame per second video. Starting off with 2 copies of Dwarf Star Dragon Planeter. This card allows me to add a dark monster from the deck to the hand, or a light monster, depending on which one I choose. But that's only during the end phase. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was normal summoned this turn, you can add 1 level 7 light or dark monster from your deck to your hand. Next we have 2 copies of Lava Golem. This card allows me to tribute 2 monsters my opponent controls and special summon this card to the opponent's side of the field, and they take 1000 damage during each of their standby phases. My next card is Cumulus, the Sticky String Kaiju. This allows me to special summon this to my opponent's side of the field, but I gotta watch out, I need to have no counters on my side of the field to special summon this card perfectly fine, without it having to use its effect. To detach 2 Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field to negate the effect of a summoned monster. That monster can also not attack this turn. Its effects are negated until the standby phase of the opponent's next turn, in this case. 2 copies of Radian, the multi-dimensional Kaiju. To remove 2 counters from this card, to special summon a Radiant token. But again, all these Kaijus have the same effect. To tribute 1 monster your opponent controls to special summon this to their side of the field in face of attack position. Our next card is Dogaran, the Mad Flame Kaiju. Can remove 3 counters from anywhere on the field to destroy all cards my opponent controls. This card can't attack the turn I activate this effect, and as always, it has the same first effect that I'm not going to go over more than twice. Next we have 2 copies of Gardala, the Mystery Dust Kaiju. Allows us to special summon this card to the opponent's side of the field. But we need to watch out for its effect. It can remove 3 Kaiju counters from the field once per damage step or battle phase to halve the attack of the opponent's monsters permanently. Next we have Gamma Seal. It removes 2 counters to banish a activated card your opponent controls after negating its effects. Then we have Jizukuri, the Star Destroying Kaiju. Allows us to negate the effect of a card that targets something on the field and destroy any card that we choose. Next we have Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju. Allows us to remove 3 counters to prevent the opponent from responding to an attack. This card can also attack monsters your opponent controls once each. Then we have 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. Allows us to really destroy an opponent's U-Lock. This card is so strong, along with this, 1 Kaiju is enough to take out an opponent's board completely. Next we have 2 copies of Draga Roar. Allows us to banish 1 Earth, 1 Wind, 1 Fire and 1 Water monster to target 1 card in the field and shuffle it into the deck. That's from my graveyards, that is. Then we have 3 copies of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This allows us to remove all monsters from the field, destroy all monsters on the field to special summon 2 Kaiju monsters, 1 on either side, in face of attack position. They also must attack, and once per turn you can banish this card, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, to search a Kaiju monster. Next we have the Kaiju Files. Allows us to special summon something to the opponent's side of the field after we destroy a Kaiju. This card we mainly want to use against Gardala and Dogaran, and Radiant if we can. Destroys the monster and replaces it, basically. Or you can send this card to the graveyard with 3 or more Kaiju counters to stop the summoner. To grab a Kaiju monster, spell or trap, from the deck to the hand. This is excluding itself for the search, of course. Next we have 3 copies of Kaiju Waterfront. We don't need terraforming here. This deck is way overpowered. Each time a card is sent to the graveyard, place 1 counter on this card, maximum 5. You can search the deck for a Kaiju monster if there are 3 or more counters on this card, and if this card were to be destroyed, you can remove a counter from this card instead. That's pretty good. This we mainly use for Jizukiru, and of course, Thunder King. Kaiju Capture Mission we have 2 copies of, allows us to set a Kaiju on the field, or we can use it to combo off with Jizukiru's effect. And when it's destroyed, we can use its graveyard effect to draw 2 cards. That was a bit accidental. And we have two copies of Drowning Mirror Force, allows us to shuffle all monsters that are in attack position our opponent controls if they declare an attack. 2 copies of Regular Mirror Force allows us to destroy any link monster, or any monster that attacks. Quaking Mirror Force allows us to set opponent's monsters face down, except link monsters. Storming Mirror Force allows us to return monsters to the hand. 1 copy of Solemn Warning, it's mandatory to have 1 copy of this card in the deck. And finally, 2 copies of Solemn Strike. We don't have an extra and a side deck with this, because we don't need one. Without further ado guys, let's showcase this deck. It's taken an awful long time to find a deal, but we'll get one eventually. It's an empty room. Although somebody just jumped in. We don't want to go first with the deck, we always want to go second. Sometimes we might face these Altagai Salomon Great decks. They're not the deck to verse with this deck. You want to verse a deck that U-locks your opponent without any kind of response, such as the latest Rocket deck. mission was activated. We basically just got our hand back. We were relying completely on the opponent not getting any spell, not getting any hand traps in the hand. Yeah, we're gonna start taking damage here. That's perfectly alright. This is precisely what we want. We want our cards to come back. Again, this is precisely what we want. It doesn't matter, guys, if your opponent attacks. It doesn't matter about that card, it's not completely unaffected by card effects, but at least I can still send it straight back to the extra deck. We're just going to quit that duel because that's how it always ends up when it comes to versing Altergeist. And we'll just go on to the next one. And just so you are aware, guys, we can't do anything unless our opponent does something. This is another deck that we do not want to verse. We want to verse a deck that allows us to play. We did make a bit of a mistake here, so we're just going to move on. Appears that our opponent cannot do anything at this point, neither can we. It appears that our opponent is using a Buster Blader deck. This is something we can counter. The opponent only has 3 copies of Buster Blader Dragon Destroyer. And of course 2 copies of Buster Dragon. This transforms all of my monsters, regardless if they're Kaijus or not. Are a mixture of machines, insects, and of course rocks. What I want is my opponent to activate the effect of Humongous the Steel Kaiju. Good. This negates the effect of this card until my next standby phase. And I want him to attack into this monster. Or her. This means I have free reign over my opponent. That's it, guys. Our opponent surrendered. This was a matchup against Buster Bladers. Old meta decks tend to be very, very weak to this deck. And so are the new meta decks, such as the 1 card 7 negates decks. Such as the new Rocket deck profile made by Team Samurai X1. I'll leave a link in the description below for that, for his channel, and of course that deck profile. So without further ado, guys, if you guys enjoy, please, it would be really appreciated if you could just thumb this up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to be informed of when I upload next. Don't forget, I do have a merch store with merchandise that is always available. Right now, it's just a company logo, just to mark the start of my empire, so to speak. But as I like to say, guys, if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to share this around with your friends and family. If you guys want to join my social media or communities, there is a link in the description below for my Discord, Facebook, and of course Twitter. You can follow me on there if you'd like. Or come say hi at the Discord. If you guys want to support the channel a little bit further, there are also links in the description below for my Patreon and PayPal. It would be really appreciated if you could go down there and go to either one, the PayPal, the merch store, or the Patreon and donate. I will send you some merchandise if you donate the allocated amount of money. Without further ado, guys, I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. Bannister of Evil Soul, signing off.